Well, hey man, nice connecting with you again. Hope all's well on your end.
Yeah, likewise.
Is yeah, great stuff. Listen, the main thing I wanted to kind of use our time for today is I was looking for what is the best practice for me to reuse leads from previous campaigns that have finished. That's number one, and number two, I wanted you to kind of maybe go over my account and just see if anything else that you can spot or move on. But those are the kind of the two main things that I wanted to cover with you.
So about when we say reusing, we just mean like existing leads that we've used before and we want to resend to them, et cetera.
So I wanted to see like what would be the best practice for you to use. Like I've done some campaigns that finished from before, and I wanted to kind of, I'm assuming like when they finish, I can always rerun them and like relaunch campaigns to try to get more appointments from them. But yeah, that's to
Yeah.
answer your question.
So we definitely want to consider timing, right? Because if it was 30 days ago, I would say you're fine not changing a thing. If I would say anything over 90 days, I would at least re-verify the emails because, we're in a high kind of turnover time. And so what could happen is that it's not necessarily that the emails are essentially bad. It's just the person left the job. And so it'll bounce and then ultimately that'll penalize your domains. But
So basically, pull any campaigns that are 90 days and over, rerun them through verification, revalidate.
exactly. And then you're fine. I mean, if obviously you can switch up the copy or whatever, but if they're older than 90 days, I would definitely re-verify the email. But that should be quick and painless because you don't have the email. You already have the email, so I would just be verifying that it is valid.
For me to see like what's the fastest way for me to know like when like I want to help, for example, this campaign, I want to check like when within the last.
One more time. Sorry, I'm only hearing like every other word, so I'm doing my best to interpret.
Yeah, I wanted to check out how to verify when the last emails were sent, but I think I'm doing it right now, right? So basically, just last 6 months and see when they were sent, and if they're over 90 days, then I can use them, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you just go into the campaign. I mean, some of this you can do with API, but it's a little bit of work. But the simplest it would be you're there, like you can see that campaign last sent on June 15th. You click
Yeah,
into the leads, and then you can just download the leads directly from there. When you put them in a CSV, though, Ramsey, they're going to show the status of them. So if any of them bounced or anything like that, make sure to exclude those, right? So you automatically don't even worry about messing with those.
sweet. Yeah. All right. Well, that was pretty easy. So that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I would even
Okay,
go as
cool.
far as
That
like I
was
wouldn't be
that's
afraid to just duplicate the campaign. Like just literally make a duplicate copy of it and then call it, like that one's insurance big data. I would do like big data number one, especially if you're going to use the same copy, then I would just pull the leads out. Like you can see that one just finished, right? Like October, whatever, 10th. So I would just duplicate that. I wouldn't even necessarily worry about that one's new, so you don't need to re-verify the leads. I mean, you probably want to change the copy up since you just sent them, in the last week or two. But other than that, that would be pretty straightforward.
so in what cases do you just duplicate versus the whole process you just did right now? Download, re-verify, bounce it, and so forth.
One more time. Sorry, it's
I said,
very choppy.
yeah, no worries. I was going to say, in what cases do you just simply duplicate the campaign versus downloading the list, re-verifying them like the steps you told me before?
Well, if you duplicate it, the lead list doesn't come with it. So you're still going to have to, I just duplicate it for the simplicity of the
Oh, I see.
sequences and everything are the same. But at least, like, if I wasn't going to change the copy, I just label it so I know, hey, like, this is exactly the same thing. And then I would
Yep,
just download the leads real quick, do my cleaning. Definitely, no matter what, it's worth downloading just to pull out the bounces because
yep,
you just
yep.
you don't want to send it them again, right? But then I just drop it right back in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, perfect. So that clears my first question. Second thing, I guess I wanted to kind of run by you is any changes in instantly that I should know about. I know last time we added some AI for the syntax so that every email is unique. Anything else that I should know about?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot with Instantly. I would tell you, like, I've started to really kind of diversify even into other sequencers because, I mean, is any of your stuff done for you accounts, or was it purely you bought them from like Inboxology?
Mainly about everything about Boxology.
Okay. Well, then you probably haven't experienced it. A lot of their DFY email accounts have been getting banned and bounced and stuff. So, the one thing I would say just be cognizant of is that all across the board, across multiple of my accounts, it's very, very tough to hit Microsoft right now. It's probably Smartlead just put out a study yesterday. It was about they looked at over 1 million email accounts sent inbox placement testing, and it was about a 12% inboxing rate. I have one client where I
Yeah.
send 100,000 emails a day, and it was like 8% inbox on to Outlook. So I would definitely take the and it's a little difficult, but it's worth it from a lead gen perspective, at least right now, Ramsey, not send if you can avoid to people with Microsoft accounts because you're not hitting them. They're not bouncing, but they're just going to spam for the last 2 weeks. And you will get much better reply rates and inbox right now on everything. So there's about 8 receivers of ESPs, right? Microsoft, Google, private mail servers, Barracuda, Proofpoint, etc. Mimecast. The only one that has an issue right now is Outlook, but depending on like for you, it might be a big deal because like you might be reaching out to 100 people at Morgan Stanley, and if Morgan Stanley uses Microsoft, I would almost bet a lot of money on the fact that they're not getting there.
Hmm. So how can I
And
remove Outlook
that's not an
Outlook users?
instantly thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I don't remember exactly how you're pulling them now. I mean, so there's a couple ways, right? There, you can do it through Instantly's API, where you can essentially, um, run the email and it'll make the call and tell you what their ESP is. Um, I can send you a table in Clay where it can be done. The other option that's probably let me see how much that's more affordable. There's a tool called Email Guard,
Oh,
and
is there a
it's
way for me to quickly know like how much of all my emails that I've sent are actually because I don't think I have any.
yeah, like let me get into your account. Let's do it. We can do a quick sample test, and I can just tell you which. Let's see here. Find yours here. Is there a give? Like, do you think what's the best campaign I could do it on? You may
Maybe
do
the
like
first one
insurance,
there you can see. Or
the FSP LinkedIn scrape.
try the FSP or the third one, FSP Apollo.
Okay. Let me look at that one. Yeah, there's a lot of Morgan Stanley in there. It's going to take. It's a huge list, and unfortunately, instantly doesn't let me. I'm going to do a couple hundred, just the first couple hundred. That'll be easier. Um, it does. I mean, because like it'll take like an hour to run 16,000, but I can do. I'll just do 300 real quick and download them.
I do remember a while back.
All right, got the list here. Create new table. Here, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing here. This would run pretty quickly, but it's just it'll give us a good, I just pulled 300 and it'll give us a good distribution of, these look like. So the tool I'm using, just so you know, is called Email Guard, and they have this email host lookup tool built in where you can just upload a contact list. I think, let me look at the billing. So, yeah, it may be worth, I'm on the agency plan, but it may be worth, what is that called? Email host lookup. Maybe worth, if this shows a lot, it may be worth just doing a free account and see how many of these email host lookups that you can do,
Cool.
because
We'll check
it's
it out.
definitely worth the time. So yeah, let me add the host to the table here, and you're gonna see. So it doesn't look horrible, but there's definitely, like you can see Outlook, 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 Outlook. So it looks like
Okay.
20% maybe, give or take. And like I'll show you some data just so you kind of have context, because I have a client that does a lot of these high tier companies. So I had to kind of build out the data set to really understand um, the data, the issues that we were having. But let me find the table here. Yeah. Do you see an Excel spreadsheet, or do you see instantly still, or Clay still? Did I
I
lose
still
you,
see
Rand?
it.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So this may be, I don't know if this is hard for you to see, but the biggest headline here is like this is just measuring the replies. And this is just the last 2 days. But the headline is that this one right here, this is 40,000 emails sent on Outlook. To Outlook, we only get 35 replies. I mean, we're getting more replies sending with Outlook from Mimecast, Google 52, versus like if you just look at Google to Google 488, exact same copy, exact same lead profile. So roughly it's around 12 to 13 times the amount of replies when you don't send to Outlook versus, I mean, these are the replies we get from Outlook, 27 and 35, versus from Google accounts. And
Yeah.
just dramatically different. And this client, why I was able to test this, is their infrastructure is exactly split half and half, Google and Microsoft, and it's 40, 50,000 sends in the last 2 days. So
That
I've
sounds good.
done a whole bunch of placement testing, but I just think, it's a big move to ask people not to send to Outlook, but right now, until something changes, that would be the number one recommendation.
Okay, sounds good. I'll look into it. But that's mainly what I want to do. I know we blocked off for the full hour, but I think we're good. Maybe if I can just ask you if we can get something on the calendar or another 30-minute call and like what just
Try that last 10 seconds one more time. I know you said, I think I heard it. We exhaust, it's just muffling again a little bit.
no, no, no worries. I was gonna say that's pretty much it, bro. I know we're booked for the full hour, but I'd like to maybe book another 30-minute call in 1 month from now.
Okay. Yeah. And anytime, just, I've gotten a little bit more organized with my time now. So yeah, let me know. We'll move things around. And of course, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, if
Where are
you could
you on the
just
train from?
Montreal, Toronto.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And
And,
yeah,
and one more time, I cut you off. Yeah, I think you said if you could just, and then I think I cut you off.
no, I said if you could just send me any invitation 30 days from today for a 30-minute call.
Okay. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Yeah, take good care of yourself, and we'll touch base in now.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good
All right, bro.
weekend.
Thank
See
you.
you.